Donald Trump's corruption isn't just about him. It's about the entire web of loyalists and insiders who surround him. Officials who are supposed to serve the public, but instead serve private interests and personal gain. Time and again, those closest to Trump prove that aligning with him means bending the rules, cashing in, and covering tracks. And now, one of Trump's most powerful enforcers is caught in a scandal that could unravel the whole operation. And somehow, everyone missed it. That's right, Trump is in panic as the Washington Post has dropped a brutal bombshell. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avallone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Trump and his entire administration are absolutely corrupt to their very core. And I think a lot of this stems from plain and simple selfishness. And people are getting more and more fed up with this selfish corruption, as recently a US veteran who fought for our freedoms had some harsh words for Donald Trump.
I'm not a sucker or a loser. I fought for freedom and democracy. I went to Vietnam when I was 19 years old only. Imagine that, 19, and I fought for our freedom. Now they want to take our benefits away. We earned those benefits. We fought for them. Do I hate Trump? Yes. We deserve all of our benefits. Health care. I've had cancer 3 times, but the VA cured me. I was lucky. Now look at us. They want to cut services. You can't get appointments made. We don't deserve this. I didn't vote for it. Did you?
No. This is some powerful stuff, but it doesn't stop at just selfishness. Recently, a Republican congressman doubled down on the notion of Trump violating the Constitution to run for a 3rd term.
Quite frankly, I'd love for Trump to have a 3rd term so we can reset these courts and actually have folks who follow the law and the Constitution versus their ideological kind of pensions.
So you're willing to break the Constitution and have President Trump have a 3rd term?
Well, actually, I have a bill that amends the Constitution, and there's a process by which you can do that. Now, let's be honest, that's a tough and long road. It has to go through the House, has to go through the Senate, it has to be ratified by the states. But I think what it does is it forces a conversation when you juxtapose the Trump administration, his vision for America, versus the failed policies of Joe Biden and what he did to the economy and international trade.
Yeah, I mean, the bill made a big splash when you first launched it. What kind of reception have you gotten from colleagues on that bill?
You know, again, it's one of those, it forces a conversation. We have a lot of support in the House. We haven't pushed it aggressively, quite frankly, because we've been working on reconciliation. But, you know, that being said, we all acknowledge the fact that getting it through the finish line, getting it ratified by the states would be a challenge. But it forces that conversation to say, what future, what vision do you have for America? And I think the Trump vision is clearly what the American people want.
That is incredibly concerning. Dude, you just said the quiet part out loud. But this is what I mean. People are starting to notice the selfishness, and the corruption surrounding Donald Trump's entire administration is getting more and more severe. But now it gets even worse, because this corruption is deliberately impacting Donald Trump's immigration policies. And that leads us to the latest and biggest corruption scandal, and somehow everyone missed it. That's right, Trump is in panic as the Washington Post has dropped a brutal bombshell. A stunning new report from the Washington Post just blew the lid off what may be the most corrupt twist yet in Trump's mass deportation plan, and it centers on one of the top officials driving the agenda. Trump's so-called border czar, Tom Homan, is under fire after ethics filings revealed he was paid by GEO Group, a private prison giant that profits directly from immigration detention, just before stepping back into power to lead Trump's crackdown. The amount was listed as, quote, more than $5,000, but experts say it could be much higher, and there's no requirement to disclose how much more. Worse, the disclosure hasn't been made public until now. This matters because Homan is one of the most powerful voices shaping Trump's deportation machine. He's demanding over 100,000 detention beds, more than double what ICE currently operates. And that kind of expansion could mean billions for companies like GEO. In fact, they've already landed new contracts in Michigan and New Jersey with $130 million in projected annual revenue. Their stock has exploded since Trump took office again. Homan claims he recused himself from contract talks, but critics aren't buying it. He worked directly for GEO Care, the division that monitors immigrants and runs facilities, while also helping the Trump team push policies that boost GEO's bottom line. This is not just a conflict of interest, it's a revolving door on steroids. Senator Dick Durbin called it corruption too large to ignore, and ethics experts say the entire system is being gamed, with former ICE officials flowing in and out of private detention firms and back into government to write the rules in their favor. So now the question isn't just whether Homan influenced Trump's policy, it's whether this entire mass deportation agenda was designed to benefit the private prison industry. Trump may think he can distract the public with tough talk on immigration, but this bombshell exposes what's really going on behind the scenes. Profit-driven policymaking, fueled by shady connections, all backed by taxpayer dollars. The scandal is growing fast, and now the Trump administration is in panic mode. This isn't just another Trump scandal. It's a warning about what happens when corruption spreads from the top down. From campaign donors to private prison executives, from former ICE directors to cabinet-level loyalists, the pattern is clear. Trump's inner circle isn't just enabling abuse of power, they are the abuse of power. And with the stakes as high as mass detention and billions in taxpayer dollars, the cost of this corruption is far too high to ignore.